From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Tuesday, December 2nd. It is a very snowy start outside. We have dozens of schools that are either delayed or closed this morning, and snowy roads out there. Most of the snow is tapering off around 7 a.m. this morning, but things are slick. Things are thick in some places. Ryan Morris has the forecast and what you can expect this morning and today.
It is going to wrap up very shortly. Winter weather advisory technically goes to 7 o'clock this morning. I think we're going to have snow winding down here in the metro area in the next hour or so. The heaviest band is still continuing in a stretch from Richmond, Shelbyville to Columbus. So those are the areas that are going to hang on to the snow through the next few hours. We'll zoom into the metro area now, dialing back to light snow showers extending into Hendricks County, and then the cutoff is at Crawfordsville. So eventually we're going to have the snow winding down here very shortly. Back to that heavier band from Richmond, Connorsville, Rushville, Greensburg to Columbus. This is where we are seeing snow rates potentially a half inch to an inch an hour, and where we are really adding to the totals left over from last night. Officially at the airport here in Indianapolis, it was 3 inches at 1 o'clock this morning. We're waiting an update from the National Weather Service to see what the latest total is. Winter weather advisory out until 7 o'clock this morning, already canceled for northwestern Indiana. Again, we could see some of these counties canceled a bit earlier with snow clearing out in the next couple hours. If you're on the roads this morning, Plainfield, Fishers, and Greenfield all in the mid to upper 20s. Obviously, we have 3 to 4 inches of snow in the metro area, so it's a bit of a mess. And then visibility within those heavier snow bands is down to a mile or less. So here's Futurecast next couple hours. By 6 o'clock, exiting eastern Indiana, and then we're just remaining with the mostly cloudy skies or cloudy sky through today. Winds not overly strong for today, but through today, cloudy skies remain. Temperatures are going to be remaining in the 20s, so you're not going to see much snow melt for today. Tomorrow, we'll see temperatures rise above freezing and start to get a little bit of snow melt, but colder air is here to stay through the end of the week. More on that coming up in my full forecast. Let's take a look at the roads this morning because it has been a mess. Some good news, though. I-74 westbound out of downtown was closed. It literally just reopened here. It does appear we still have the right lane closed, but this was a closure leaving downtown because of snow, causing some issues on the roads.
The wait is over. Dive into Audible's most anticipated collection, The Best of 2025, featuring top audiobooks, podcasts, and originals across all genres. Our editors have carefully curated this year's must-listens, from brilliant hidden gems to the buzziest new releases. Every title in this collection has earned its spot. This is your go-to for the absolute best in 2025 audio entertainment. Whether you love thrillers, romance, or nonfiction, your next favorite listen awaits. Discover why there's more to imagine when you listen at audible.com/bestoftheyear.
Again, dozens of schools are either delayed or closed today. I know my kids are on a 2-hour delay. We have a full list on our website right now. Just go to wishtv.com. Everything you need to know is there. This morning at the state capitol, the House Elections and Apportionment Committee is set to hold its first hearing on the proposed new congressional district map from Indiana Republicans. The proposal comes under pressure from President Trump and Governor Mike Braun to help Republicans win more congressional seats in next year's midterm elections. News 8's Malia Van Ostrin says the first day of the session also brought protesters to the State House.
The draft map redraws Indiana in ways opponents say fundamentally shifts political power. The biggest changes are in Marion County, which would be split into 4 districts, pairing downtown voters with communities as far south as Seymour and New Albany.
We feel like all voices are heard, every who's will be represented. And then in regard to the courts, it's just making sure there's a process to get to the Supreme Court as quickly as possible. They're the final determinant.
Senator Fatty Kador believes the proposal is racially motivated and lawmakers' priorities should shift to bigger issues in the state.
We're here to fight for Hoosiers, to be sure that their quality of their lives is improved, that we make life more affordable, and that we use every ounce of energy, every second we have in the General Assembly, not to play political games, but to actually work on real issues that are impacting real Hoosiers in every zip code in Indiana.
The conversation wasn't just contained to the chambers. Dozens of protesters rallied inside the State House, calling the proposed map a lack of transparency and attack on their voting rights.
It's a clear mark of we want to divide Marion County. We want to dilute the black vote. We want to do damage to the black community, and so we're going to do that because we can.
Houston defended the proposal, saying it's what people across the country want and that the map was created with the intent to create as many Republican seats as possible.
Democrats and Republicans in pretty large majorities across the country said they were fine with political gerrymandering. So, look, we're doing this because this is, again, the national environment that we're in. We don't, we operate, not in a vacuum, but across the national environment.
Large changes also appear in northern Indiana, where the traditionally Democratic 1st District would expand into Republican-leaning counties such as Stark, Marshall, and Cass, making it more competitive. I'm Aaliyah Van Ostrand for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Republicans in Indiana's congressional delegation are unanimous in their support for new districts. Representative Jim Baird from the 4th District in western Indiana says some Republican-leaning districts were undercounted in the last census, although he did not offer any evidence for that undercount.
The fact that some of the undercounted counties in the past, like 5 out of the 6 were Republican districts that were undercounted. And then those that were overcounted, there were 6 out of 8 that was Democrat.
Democratic Congressman Andre Carson's 7th district would mostly be shifted out of Indianapolis under the proposed map at the State House. Carson posted on X saying Hoosier values matter more than D.C. threats and bullying. Splicing our state's largest city and its biggest economic driver into 4 parts is ridiculous. It's clear these orders are coming from Washington, and they clearly don't know the first thing about our community. Hoosiers have made their voices heard and won't stand for it. Right now, you can compare Indiana's current congressional map with the proposed new map from Indiana Republicans to see how it would impact who you vote for if it becomes law. You can just go to wishtv.com, go to the As Seen On section where you will find all of our coverage on this issue. Another Republican state lawmaker who opposes redrawing districts says he is the latest to face threats. State Senator Mike Bohachek from northern Indiana released a statement saying, "My family and I received threats of a bomb placed at our home. My family and I are safe, and law enforcement is currently investigating the threats made against us. This recent pattern of threatening behavior and intimidation attempts are not only concerning, but also illegal. I hope to see justice for this type of behavior." The senator says the threat came the day after he announced he is opposing redrawing districts after President Trump used a derogatory term for people with developmental disabilities in social media posts. Bohachek says his daughter has Down syndrome and says this is not the first time our president has used these insulting and derogatory references, and his choices of words have consequences. I will be voting no on redistricting. Perhaps he can use the next 10 months to convince voters that his policies and behavior deserve a congressional majority. As for the White House, it has released the results of President Trump's medical imaging from October. The president's doctor says the results of cardiovascular and abdominal scans were normal. The White House says the imaging was preventative. Trump was also diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency in July. That condition was not addressed in the memo yesterday. Let's go to sports now. Hoosier faithful are getting ready for perhaps the biggest football game in school history. IU takes on Ohio State Saturday at Lucas Oil Stadium for the Big Ten championship and to be the top seed in the college football playoff. The Buckeyes are one of only 2 teams Coach Curt Cignetti has lost to since he came to IU last year. He says his team will be ready for the number 1 versus number 2 matchup.
I had the opportunity to be a part of a couple of those at Alabama. We played Florida and Tebow and Urban 1 versus 2 years in a row. So it's going to be a great atmosphere.
College Football Playoff Committee will release its final rankings before the Big Ten and other conference championship games tonight. The final playoff positions will be released Sunday. Pacers get another chance to win at home this week after falling to the Cleveland Cavaliers last night. Pascal Siakam tried to keep the Pacers in the game. He had a team high of 26 points, but it was not enough. Donovan Mitchell scored 43 for the Cavs as they beat the Pacers 135-119. Indiana is back in action at home against the Denver Nuggets tomorrow at 7 o'clock. To today's Health Spotlight, epilepsy occurs when the brain has an electrical misfire that triggers seizures, which can range from momentary freezing to full convulsions. This morning, we have the story of a teenager who had surgery for her epilepsy before starting high school. Gina Galeros reports.
You can find Kaylee Hill stretching, flipping, and tumbling with a smile on her face. But last year, that wasn't the case.
She walked up to the door and she's like, "What do you need next? I'm like, "Baby, what are you doing?"
They didn't know it yet, but Kaylee was having a seizure.
Kind of like anxiety, or like whenever you're in the ocean, you get like caught under a wave and like you're just waiting to come out of it.
Once diagnosed, Kaylee was referred to Dr. Sadia Gadella for treatment as her medications didn't work.
The chances somebody to become seizure-free after 2 well-tried medications fail is less than 5%.
The next option was surgery, and to map out which part of Kaylee's brain needed to be removed, Dr. Greg Olivaria was brought in with a robot named Rosa.
She's able to, within 1 millimeter accuracy, place electrodes in Kaylee's brain and create a map of her seizures.
The seizure location was near Kaylee's language base. In order to do the surgery, Kaylee had to give up cheerleading.
It was so upsetting. Like, I thought that I was just never going to be able to do it again.
2 operations later.
And when I saw her in the ICU shortly after surgery talking and responding, I knew that we had preserved those eloquent areas of the brain.
After 3 months of no seizures, Kaylee finally got the news she was hoping for.
When we told her you can cheerlead, oh my God, she gave me all hugs and she was so happy.
As soon as I got to step on the mat again, I just all of me just came alive.
Now Kaylee is enjoying life and even became one of the few freshmen to be accepted to her high school varsity cheer team. Gina Galeros, Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at WishTV.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.